This I did not say. That's what I'm trying
to. You did not say that?
I did not say that.
So what did you say?
I said that any money, any fund received
by
the IEC is paid into the IEC bank account and is recorded in the IEC financial document.
Is paid in?
To the IEC bank account and recorded in the IEC financial documents.
And recorded in?
The financial documents.
Okay, so that was what you said?
Yes.
Audit want to clarify?
I just want to submit that I don't think anybody can sit here and tell us how we should do our work. We are professionals, we know how we do our work. We don't only base our audit on hearsay. We do document review, we do physical verification, we do interviews. So we do all this to triangulate and substantiate whatever we have as far as the audit is concerned. So it's not only speaking to people that we base our evidence on. We verify. With this physical verification, we do that. I just want to submit that. Thank you.
Yes, and in addition to that, Mr. Chair, I just want the CEO to confirm whether he is accepting for the fact that the ECOS Commission has supported or they've received that external support from the ECOS Commission. If that is the case, why would they just submit the document requested by the NAO at that point in time? Thank you.
Yes, Honorable, thank you very much. We accept and recognize the support of ECOS for the Commission during the call of this election. And when the question came, I referred them to the IEC financial documents. This is what I did. Like, check the bank statement, check the cash book. I can remember my statement.
Yeah. But CEO, was that how it was requested? Did the auditors ask for that, that we refer them to that particular point?
Yes, when they came during the entry meeting, Mr. Salifugay said, CEO, where is the EU money, where is the African Union money, where is the ECOWAS money? I said, please refer to the financial documents and to the bank statement. Because all support, all funds received by the IEC goes to the IEC bank account. So this is what I referred them. And if they had asked for the bank statement, we would have provided, which they did, and we also provided.
But Mr. CEO, referring them to the bank statement, which the NEO is still asking for further documentation, what's something for provided that document?
It was provided for them, and we still have it, and it was provided.
And they still wearing it?
Yes, and we can provide in this document that this ECOWAS plan came, and this was when it came, and this is in the IC bank, and it's really there. We have it.
I think the question here, Honorable Chair, with the permission, the question here is not about whether they provided the funds or not. What we are asking for, those funds that were provided to you, how were they utilized? That was the point of contention here. And as an auditor, I think my boss has rightly mentioned here that we don't only look at documents, we hold discussion with officers, relevant key officers, not everybody. He is the CEO. He is responsible for day-to-day running of the IEC in terms of managing the affairs, not the commissioners, but he deals with finances and other related issues, operational issues. So we cannot just go to everybody and start asking them. So and besides, you cannot just be pinpointing to specific people. I think if you are going to name, you name the supervisor. Salibu was a team member. I was the supervisor. If you have any issue with Salibu, you should talk to the supervisor or the Auditor General. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, Honorable Chair, point of correction here. I am not the Chief Executive Officer of the IEC. I am not the Chief Executive of the IEC. And I repeat, I am not the Chief Executive Officer of the IEC. Perhaps that's what people don't understand when you say CEO in IEC. I am the Chief Electoral Officer. Chief Electoral Officer. I am not the approving, the administrative, or the accounting officer of the IEC. The IEC is headed administratively, accounting-wise, by the chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission. I am a technical advisor and a link between the commission and the staff. I'm an implementing officer. I'm not in charge of finance like the administration. I receive instruction, and my decisions are not final. They are subject to approval by the authority of the IEC. This is the misconception that most of the people don't know. I'm not only referring to the National Audit Office, but when they hear the CEO, they thought that is the Chief Executive Officer. I am not the Chief Executive Officer of the Commission.
The thing is, when they came for auditing, did you put it them as what your role is?
On many occasions. On many occasions.
And you allow them to take you through on those issues when it's not your role?
Yes, on many occasions.
So what are you saying?
On many occasions, when they say,
let me learn. Yeah. You take them through as your limitation, and then you still allow them to take you through, even whereas you have your limit.
yes, I have my limitation, I have my rules, I have my POR. But nonetheless, the Commission has nominated me to be their focal person.
The commission nominated to be their focal person.
Yes.
And you were acting on behalf of the commission.
Exactly.
Then you admit that. I think you are the one who accommodated that.
No, but you...
No. You need to tell the commission where your limit is. If the commission wants to give you that opportunity and you accept that you are acting on behalf of the commission.
Mr. Chairman, may I come in to the commission? I just want to clarify, based on the organogram of the commission, the CEO works under the direct authority of the commission. It cannot undertake any activity, anything whatsoever, without the explicit instructions of the commission. The commission is a team of equals, and there is force among equals, which is the chairman. But the CEO does not have executive powers vested in him. I'm sorry for all this confusion, but I think this needed to be clarified. And regarding the ECOWAS grants, actually, yes, we do receive support. We did from ECOWAS, from the EU, from UNDP, and from various other partners. And everything is documented. I think perhaps there was a problem of communication in referring to the person holding custody of these relevant documents to confirm that we have received grants from such and such parties. But all these grants that they will receive were actually for electoral operations. We were within an electoral context. Now, if you want us to break that down on exactly what that amount was being used for, that also could be provided. I think we do not, we want to be very transparent here, and we have all the documentation there. Perhaps, I don't know, perhaps issue of communication or egos, there were problems, documents were not given to the relevant person. We may apologize for that. But all that we do is documented, and the records are there. If you want us to provide that, sir, we can provide that.
I think this is what the Audit Act does after. They just want to verify the details of the grant and whether they were used for intended purpose. Just do the explanation.
No? I will give the floor to Lamin, who was there, and then you will.
Well, I think the issue is about this ECOWAS grant. PCO made it clear that it was for COVID purposes, where we bought face masks, hand sanitizers, and body temperature reading machines, gloves, and things like of that nature. So it's all there. I don't know how come they could not identify them. But as the Vice said, if need be, we dig into our records and get those things for them.
Can I take you through that?
Yes.
The intended purpose of that fund is what?
is for COVID materials.
Okay.
Yes, as you alluded to.
Did you provide that explanation to the auditors?
Well, I was not on the ground to answer to their queries.
Auditor?
Honorable Chair, as you are aware, audit is a process. When we did this audit, we raised queries, and some of these queries were not resolved. So automatically they saw themselves in the management letter, the draft. When we sent the draft management letter, we also had an exit meeting where we clarified some of these findings. The purpose basically of the exit meeting is to clarify any of our findings, and more importantly is to help management to be able to provide their response adequately. So the process was followed, and they had the opportunity to clarify issues, or in fact to provide a detailed response on this. So I'm not sure why is management saying that maybe we didn't understand, or coming up with excuses at this level. Thank you.
CEO?
Yes, thank you, Honorable Chair. Like you said, audit is a process. We have the entry, we have the face-to-face, we have the document verification, and all whatnot. There's here a draft ML. We just reviewed, and they came for an exit meeting we had. But during the course of all these processes, all our responses, except the one we have written in black and white, it was never taken up. I remember in one of our meetings we had with them, we were told that we can answer anything, but they can retain or not to retain anything, depending on what they think. This is why the commission have to say, okay, we will just give you our written responses now that this is the position, and that's what's the case now. We have no problem with this 534,000. This is received, this was paid into the IC account for election purposes. The election was conducted and it was expended.
Yeah, when the site was for election purpose, but specifically what aspect or what part of the election? I think what the commissioner was saying, that's something to do with the COVID-19. I think you need to explain that.
Yes,
that's what they mean. Whether it was utilized for the intended purpose.
Yes, I just received a note from one of my colleagues that this was used for the training of the SROs. Training of the SROs.
Pardon?
My colleague just said me that for the details, it was used for the training of staff. Training of staff.
Training of staff?
Yes.
Was that the intended purpose?
Yes, it was for training.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
The director of admin want to say something.
Yes. Good afternoon. We're talking of this grant that was given to the Independent Electoral Commission for the purpose of conduct of election. What happened at a gathering, the Independent Electoral Commission made mention of organizations that supported in the past, but then did not make mention of ECOWAS. For reasons that we did not realize anything coming from them to the Independent Electoral Commission. It was after, because of the ECOWAS thought they gave money to the Independent Electoral Commission, but we did not see that money. To call a spade here, we did not see that money, but when we told them we did not realize money was given for the purpose of conduct of elections. That was when they told us that they had some money remaining. That was when they said they had some money left, which they intended to give to the Independent Electoral Commission. But before this money was given, they asked us to come up with a concept note. That concept note, I was part of those that drafted it. It was after that they deposited that money into our account. And this money definitely alone couldn't take care of what it was meant for. But then the IEC had to supplement it to be able to conduct trainings across the country, and the training of polling staff. It was like this happened a long time ago. At some point, we may have forgotten a little bit here. But then I was reflecting on this because I participated in the drafting of that concept note, and definitely it was meant for training of police staff. Thank you so much.
Honorable Chairman.
Yes, thank you very much. But is it director? Yes. The one who just spoke.
Yes.
At a gathering, when it was clearly mentioned that there was a support from ECOWAS mission, and for the fact that the ECOWAS mission have mistakenly mentioned that there was a support, they supported. But why wouldn't you come out as an institution boldly to challenge and mention clearly that there was no support given by the commission at that time?
Can I respond to that before we move on? I think the confusion stems from the fact that the money was paid directly to the government and not to the IEC. That was why actually I think ECOWAS has always been complaining that we never acknowledge the support that we gave them, and we told them. I remember we had that meeting recently when they were doing this evaluation. There was a consultant and a team that came from ECOWAS, and they mentioned that they reminded us that we never acknowledged, because the money was never paid to the IEC in that one. This is different. It was paid to the government. Direct support to the government for election, meant for the IEC, which never trickled down to the IEC.
But
Yes,
did you try
yes,
to contact the government? Did you try in any point contacting the government just to verify?
Anyway, we never knew if the money was paid. It was only realized when we did not acknowledge them, and they said, we gave to government. By that time, we were even on the eve of the election. That is the observer briefing.
Yes, I think the point of contention here is the point of 534,000.
Yes.
And we know our discussion on that.
Yes, or
Do you mean to say the 534,000 was paid to the government?
No, it was paid to the IEC.
Then I have a question.
Yes.
No, you said Mr. Chair, sorry. Mr. Chair.
Yeah, because let's get this. For me, the discussion should be centered on the findings of the auditors and the responses of my mission. So, along the way, you believe the 534 came from the government, and that is not the issue. I don't know whether the responses fully answered your question before I come.
No, let me just
The CEO have just responded that because he knew very well that I'm talking about is 534, how it was utilized. And then they said it was clearly mentioned at a gathering that the ECOWAS Commission, had supported, mentioned by the ECOWAS Commission themselves. So and I asked, why didn't they come out boldly to make it clear that they did not receive any support? And they said the support was through the government. He said. So and I asked again, did you verify? Did you try to confirm this from the government, whether the support actually went to the government? And he said, what was your response again, Mr. CEO?
It was on the eve of election.
It was on the eve of election. But did you try to confirm with the government, I said?
No. Okay. But now it's clear that there would have been another support. But the grant, which has been flagged by the auditors, was indeed received by IEC.
Exactly.
Yes, for me, my issue is, if you look at the management response, it doesn't contain in any way the submissions that are given before the committee with regards to the 534. Because if you look at the second paragraph of the management response, which is on page 30, it states that we inform that all support or assistance received from development partners, being funds transferred to IEC account or in kind, were adequately documented and based on the conduct of elections as soon in the records, which was made available to the audit team. Then the auditors made a further comment. to indicate that the audit team only received details of fuel support grant from the AU amounting to 2.1 million, but details of what the ECOWAS grant was meant for and how it was utilized was not provided to the audit team. And that's the explanation which was just done by the admin manager, if I'm right.
Yes.
So why didn't you provide that to the auditors? Because simply that is what the auditors were after. All they wanted to know was the motive of the grant, the objective of the grant from ECOWAS, and whether it was expended for that use. Why was that not provided to the auditors? I think that is the bone of contention. Why? If you had all those information, you had the proposal. Okay?
Yes, we were just consulting. We believe that this was provided, but they were not satisfied with the explanation that was given to them. Because when the money came, it was meant for training, and we spent more than this amount on training. And the training vouchers and everything was provided. The payment vouchers for the training was provided, but still now the query came up, and we decided to respond to it.
Good. Yeah. To see you, the main reason I find that hard to believe is 3.1.6, which is on page 29, is explicit. It says failure to disclose details of the ECOWAS grant. That was explicit. Okay, and then it also indicates the value of 534. And there is nowhere in your management response that reference is being made to that. In fact, your management response was general in nature. It didn't speak to the audit findings themselves. So that is the issue.
I think if you look at the response, not
Yes.
only general, but it's telling you that it's all inclusive, not only the ECOWAS grant, but every other donor assistance received. Already documented and recorded properly.
Yes, I appreciate that fact. But what we are trying to say is the finding was specific. And the auditors have been consistent. Even in their further comments, they are telling you that, yes, other informations were provided, but our specific finding was never resolved. So this is the issue. If that information was available, what stopped you from giving it to the auditors? And if indeed you've provided it to the auditors, what stopped you from indicating it in your management response? To indicate that, yes, fine, the extra expenditures are because of A, B, C, and D. This was the intended purpose, but later it was expanded and we had to check it. That should have been provided.
Well, like I said, the response of the management at the time was to go holistic and all-inclusive, not only specific on because of any assistance received from any development partner. It's always recorded and documented appropriately. So this is the position of the management at the time, not only to go and specify or be specific to a particular grant or particular support from a particular development assistance.
Yeah, but Mr. CEO, let's narrow it down.
Yes.
Do we appreciate the fact that it should have been specific? Because the auditors didn't generalize their finding. The finding is failure to disclose details of ECOWAS grant. And in their findings, they said, however, during the review of the letters, which is on page 29, under the caption finding second paragraph. No, Jack, come. I can complete from this. When Jay is in the room, you take his seat.
Yes.
Let me just take my rightful seat.
No problem.
Okay? Honorable Chair, with your permission, can I take it over?
Yes, very good.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. See, what I was saying is, the auditors made a specific finding. And if indeed you wanted to clear the issue, you could have laid a foundation, speak on generalities, but at the conclusion, you should mirror your response to that specific finding. That is, if indeed you want to clear it. And the specific finding was on the ECOWAS grant, the intended purpose and how it was expended. Laying a background on the generalities of donor grants is okay. But if the intention is to clear the audit finding, you should have concluded by narrowing it down on that.
Okay. However, the general response, if he is to take on board all the other assistance offered, to the extent that it has covered even the AU which offered more than the ECOWAS. But for us, any support was appreciated and never sworn. But your comments noted.
Yes, so look at the auditors for our comments. I will refer you to page that. That will be my last intervention. The second line, after 2.1 million, it says, but details of what the ECOWAS grant was meant for and how it was utilized was not provided to the audit team up to the time of finalizing the management letter. And that speaks contrary to the advice we received from the acting finance director, because I saw it what you concerned. No, I didn't hear what you were saying, but what you provided to the committee was informed by him. That information was provided to the auditors, but it wasn't satisfactory.
Okay.
There are further comments speaks contrary to that.
Anyway, according to the information I gave, that is the finance director provided them this payment vouchers or receipts spent from this amount, but they were not satisfied. Perhaps while they keep it up, it's here that they are not satisfied. But from our end, this was received, it was expended, and it was documented.
Okay, well, at this point now, propose that we allow the mayor to comment and then clarify that point.
Any other? Yeah.
Yeah, our question remains the same, that the ECOWAS grant, what it was meant for and how it was utilized was not provided for us up to the time of finalizing the management letter. Anything we get in here is an update, but as far as the audit was concerned, we are not provided with the details of this and how it was utilized. Thank you.
Yeah.
The audits are not provided with the detail.
Yeah, but
Can IEC provide the committee detail?
Mr. Chairman, we've taken note of the concerns raised here, and we would provide the requested details. We commit to providing those details.
Yeah, the provision will help the committee when we are preparing. Report.
We fully agree. We will provide.
Okay.
contrary to what the CEO says, one of the directors says that there is a concept note that they have written to ECOWAS before they discuss these funds. Can we request for that concept note? And can they also guide us through how does this grant works before receiving a grant? Do they have any form of communication with ECOWAS as well? If there is, we request for that document so that we can know what this money is intended for.
The explanation as well as the concept note that was sent to ECOWAS will now tell us whether actually it was used for intended purpose.
No, exactly, Mr. Chairman. We will start to provide the concept note. And I just, by way of information, any assistance to the Electoral Commission is based on what we call a needs assessment. And it is that needs assessment that informs the type of support that they provide to the Commission based on requested priorities. Yeah, to complement funding that is coming from government. There are certain areas that are not funded by government, like in civic education, voters training, and all that stuff. Right now, we have a training that is going on, which is funded by the UNDP and EU. Actually, I opened that meeting yesterday. In the same way, we always have a needs assessment, and this is sanctioned by the preparation of some sort of a concept note, which is also anchored in the strategic plan of the IAC, which we set out our priorities. So we will provide all the relevant documents as requested by this August Assembly.
Thank you very much.
Yes, okay, Chair. Can we attach the timeline as to when the submit those documents?
Today is on the 28th. Can we give them 1 week?
Yes.
See you?
Well, we are working for Gambia. We work on it.
1 week is okay?
Yes.
Okay. It's going to be 1 week. And let's the date for 1 week. Today is 28.
Next
Next week, Thursday, next week. Next week, Monday?
7 days.
For the 7 days, excluding the weekend.
Okay, then we go to Friday.
This is 16.
Monday? 5th. Exclude the 2 days from the weekend.
6, yeah.
On the 6th.
Yeah.
Vice Chair on the 6th.
This is well noted,
Thank you.
and we'll do our process provide.
Thank you. Can we proceed, members? Take the floor. That is the elections, expenses, failure to obtain approval for opening of commercial bank accounts. And that the findings indicate that the review of the bank statement files ranging from the period 28 to 23 revealed that the IEC opened commercial bank accounts with Zenith, GTB, and Trust Bank were done without evidence of approval from the minister, contrary to the above financial regulations. The detail of the commercial bank accounts opening are listed in the table below. On that recommendation, management should ensure that they comply with the detailed financial regulation. They comply with the detailed financial regulation 2016 in the opening of the commercial bank account, and management therefore responded. Management.
Response: the IEC has been operating bank accounts without approval of the authority of state, but rather based on provisions of the electoral laws. They refer to section 42A and 43A of the Constitution and section 10(2)A of the electoral law. Actions should be taken to continue the implementation of the said provision. Official responsible for remedial action not applicable. Even situation is not applicable.
AO.
Auditors comment. The relevant sections you quoted relate to the functional duties of the IEC, but not with regard to the management of finances. The IEC is a public institution and hence is covered within Regulation 6 of the Financial Regulation 2016 and Section 7, subsection 13 of the Public Finance Act requires the Commission to obtain approval from the Minister of Finance. Furthermore, our stance that the IEC should remit revenues collected to the Consolidated Revenue Fund is further cemented by Section 76 of the Public Finance Act. It states, subject to the Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia, where a provision of this Act is inconsistent with a provision of any other law, the provision of this Act shall prevail, and the provision of the other law shall, to the extent of the inconsistency, be void.
Yes, I see.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. I think this is so different from the other point that
The previous one.
we discussed earlier on. I know this August Assembly has the powers of a High Court, but I think also, and I will come back to this, we need to have clarity on the interpretation of these various provisions by
Can you use the mic? They're not getting me.
I think we may need to resort to some sort of interpretation by the High Court on the conflicting provisions of the, but we already take note of the first decision that has been taken, but I think at one point in time, there must be clarity in the interpretation of the various enactments. Thank you very much.
Yes, what is the position of IEC? We have to be clear on that.
No, our position is aligned to the same position that we had for the other discussions that we had. But
that was concluded, I think, at one point. We've made a conclusion.
yes, the conclusion is there. I'm saying notwithstanding that conclusion, I said at one point in time, we may try to seek an interpretation from the relevant judicial authority on all these issues.
The earlier issue, I don't think that was the position we have taken.
No, that's not it. That was not the position. I'm saying we align ourselves with that position.
Right.
We don't have a problem, but I'm saying that at one point in time, we may take on the latitude of trying to seek an interpretation for clarity purposes.
Yeah,
as I see it.
Yes, Chair, just a quick question to the Vice Chair. And who will initiate that action to ensure that there is an interpretation from the ICON?
No, we can do it as we can do it as IEC.
Yes, I think that is in order.
We've done it for some other issues.
That is in order. But currently, at the level of the committee, before you initiate that action, at the level of the committee, we will satisfy ourselves with the provisions of the law. And if you look at it correctly, as obtained in Instruction 76 of the Public Finance Act, any other provisions that are inconsistent with Instruction 76, those provisions are null and void. So as it stands, IEC should get approval before, no wait. And those approvals are for good intentions, which I will explain so that you can appreciate it. Today you have internally raised revenues. The Accountant General should be in a position to know where public funds are kept. They are not dictating you as to where you should keep your money. But the law is saying they should give you the necessary approvals so that at any moment in time, somebody, somewhere, can know how much IEC is having. Let me give another classical example. I've not been in Parliament for that long, but I've been here since 2022. Across all government departments, none have ever reported their internally raised revenues. Whenever they come to Parliament, they will tell us they are resource constrained. When hundreds of millions of Gambian dollars are raised through them, some of them even through the payroll by the loan scheme that we've given. And at the end of the day, we'll make appropriations and they'll be having surplus cash. When the envelope we have as a country is what? Being restricted. It's very small. So the intent of the law is to have one basket so that we all know how much we are having in our envelope so that we can make rational decisions. So as of now, that is the spirit of this committee. Any resolutions we are going to make will be based on the law to ensure that as a country we know how much is collected across all levels so that when we are making appropriations, we can do it judiciously and from an informed point of view. Notwithstanding, the IEC can go to the high courts and get an interpretation. And when that interpretation also comes, as an assembly, we'll follow it because we just follow the law. If the interpretation differs with what is provided in law here, we'll take that as a precedent. But before that, we'll follow the dictates of the law. And we are encouraging the Commission to do the same. Because if at all this happens to be a recurrent finding by the auditors in their subsequent audit works, we'll see it as a defiance of what? The Commission to the resolutions of the Assembly.
No, thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, with your permission. Thank you very much, Honorable Member. I think we're speaking the same language. We all agree on the need for transparency, accountability, and judicious use of resources. I've been in public service for 40 years. 40 years. I've seen it all. I joined the civil service in 1985. 15 years in the public service, 24 years in the UN. So when it comes to the issues of transparency, accountability, integrity, and judicious of resources, you are preaching to the converted. And I fully agree with you. But that notwithstanding, for the purposes of clarity going forward, and so that we have case laws, jurisprudence, it would be important at one point in time that we go to the court, that as we have done for some other issues, to have clarity on the interpretation. But I fully agree with you. This one, don't worry about it. You can count on me. We will never be defiant to any state institution, something that has been created under the Constitution. As I always say, some of us, our future is behind us. We are looking at country, what we want to give back to country, what we have gained from country. So forget about it. We will be law compliant. We will act within the presence of the law, and I need to reassure you about that. There's nothing that we can learn from. In terms of law compliance, honestly speaking, you will preaching to the converted. Thank you very much.
I think then the management should revisit the response regarding which particular law is supposed to apply, because you did say that you're going to continue implementation of the said provisions, that the provision you highlighted for the 2A and 3.3. And then that is to say there is no responsibility regarding remedial action, and as well as when the situation is supposed to be regularized. So that is the position until you revisit that. That IEC is going to continue relying on 42A and 43.3 instead of as what is entailed in the Public Finance Act. Until otherwise interpreted differently by the court, we are putting to IEC these provisions that we have raised in your response is not applicable here, but the Public Finance Act, until the court interprets it differently as you indicated in your response. If they rule it favorably for that, yes, you can go by that. But otherwise, we put that it is the Public Finance Act that should prevail.
Yeah. This is aptly noted, Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm going to take care of that.
Chair, the IEC is not a public enterprise, it's a public institution dealing with public funds. And the clause, the section cited by the auditors is valid. It's explicit here, if you go through it, the PFL. And what you are premising on that section 10 on the Election Act is saying that your funds should be deposited in a bank account. And the Public Finance Act is telling you the steps to take to open a bank account. There is no conflict here. There is no need to go to the Supreme Court for redress. If you do so, you will fail. Because you are dealing with there is no conflict.
The choice for IEC is entirely IEC's. So
making a legal advice.
Until such a time,
Legal advice.
what is prevailing is Public Finance Act in this matter. But if the court decides, no, sorry, we don't need to tell them you should not go. The choice is entirely theirs. There are two laws. So it's the court that can determine which one should prevail. Our opinion is to be this one. If IEC believes it to be the other one, and they want to seek the interpretation of the court, they have liberty to do that.
Okay, Chair. Okay, Chair. If you read this section 76 of the Public Finance Act, which states, subject to the Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia, where a provision of this act is inconsistent with a provision of any other law, the provision of this act shall prevail. And the provision of that other law shall, to the extent of the inconsistency, be void. What does that mean?
You are talking about, sorry,
The Election Act.
You are talking about the Constitution and the Election Act,
No.
where it implies the Public Finance Act and then the Election Act. What IEC is quoting provision of the Election Act.
No,
The Public Finance Act
no.
and the Election Act.
Function 43, section 43 of the Constitution.
43 is the Constitution.
Of the Constitution.
Yes.
And mostly where they would premise is that that there will be 43, that they shouldn't be under the direction and control of any other person. The PMF is not a person. This is a document.
Honorable Chair,
Honorable Chair,
no,
I
sorry.
think this issue has been dealt with Honorable Lampo clearly, and we agree that we are going to move forward on this.
Yes, okay.
Notwithstanding the fact that we have
why
the constitutional right to seek an interpretation.
The interpretation, Honorable Chair, let's take that.
Do that.
For that one, we have no control over that.
Exactly.
Okay? So our position is that the Public Finance Act should prevail in this matter until when the interpretation proves it otherwise. But for them not to go or to go,
That's it, right?
we have no control over that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Can we proceed? The next one, failure to use donor support fuel on election activities. The review of retirement documents relating to election expenses ranging from the period 20 to 23, so that the fuel coupons were 2.1 million as per BNPC invoice dated 21st October 21, was received by IEC from African Union, and the purpose of these fuel coupons were for the 2021 presidential election activities. However, some of those coupons amounting to 302,400 was not used in the regions like Kelwan and Masakongo. As the management claimed, there was no GNPC petrol station in those regions, and as such, these coupons were diverted for other purposes, details of which are indicated in the appendix. And therefore, the audit recommended that the management should ensure that all donor support received from international organizations such as AU, among others, are spent mainly for their intended purposes and not diverted for other activities not in accordance with donor requirements. Management response?
All fuel received were properly accounted for. Response: all fuel received were properly accounted for and were used on election conduct and election-related activities.
Auditor's comment. The evidence we gathered on this subject reveals that indeed some of the coupons provided by the EU were not entirely used on election activities, but on the other official matters. Therefore, this issue still remains unresolved.
Now, the issue is not on they were not used for the conduct of election. Now, specifically, reference was made to two regions, Cherwan and Mansapongo. Is it Cherwan and Mansapongo? As management claimed that there was no GNPC petrol station in those two regions, and such the coupons were diverted for other purposes. Yes.
Honorable Chair, as was indicated in the audit report, it's true, there were no GNPC stations in those two areas, Jenangure and Serawan. So for that being the case, IEC swap it with our own official coupons so that those people can go to the fuel stations to get their fuel supply. But not that it was diverted. It was swapped because they cannot use it there. You give it them just like an elephant in the room because they cannot use it there. There's no GNPC there. So this is why IEC decided to take those GNPC coupons and give them that of IEC fuel supply instead.
I think this is the clarification that you need to give to the auditors. We did not divert. We swap and you provide the evidence. Couple number so and so for, is it, what is the name of the? No. Instead of GLBC, which other company? Audits. This one is swapped with this number of audits. But we still insist on they were used for election conduct. That's not enough for explanation.
Mr. Chairman, we fully agree with you. There were insufficiencies in our response to that. We could have fleshed out that response to clarify. Yeah, we can take full note of that.
I think, of course, the management responded in specifying everything, but a list was given to them to show them what was swapped for the office and what was sent to the regions. And on the index is there. The index shows, although the explanation, of course, maybe it should contain that detail, but a list given to them to explain how it was used was provided to them.
No, I think explanation to be used as the basis of this, to be guiding. But the way you put your response, all 12 coupons received, we are properly accounted for. And we are used on election conduct and election-related activities. There's no explanation in this. Mansakonko and Kelwan were diverted. That is the Board of Consensus here. But you do not make reference to Mansakonko and Kelwan specifically. All that they are interested to know is the explanation around Mansakonko and Kelwan. No detail about other areas or things that they have not even mentioned. Only that. If there were diversion or no diversion, do your explanation and try to provide your evidence.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. You're absolutely right. We take full note. We'll try to draw lessons from this, and next time around we'll make sure that we provide all the relevant details. So I can assure you that there was no diversion. We just failed to give all the information perhaps in the explanation. But I can assure you that.
Sorry, anyone?
Yes. I think this issue of swapping is just on it as a use to us, because this was never provided to the audit team. If it was provided to the audit team, we would have reflected it in our auditor's comment.
Somebody want to comment?
No. Mr. Chair, all what I wanted to ask is, the management response was all 4 coupons received were properly accounted for and were used on election conduct and election-related activities. What do they believe then the coupons were used on that related activities, not making it clear to the auditors at that point in time?
We'll find on the election page.
Mr. Chairman, the details have been provided under Annex B. Annex B. Details on the usage of the fuel that was meant for elections activities.
Page 102.
Page 101 and 102.
Appendix C.
102.
Appendix B.
Appendix B.
Details on the usage of fuel that was meant for elections activities.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes. And that's where the proposal of the chair comes into play. Because the question I was going to ask the auditors was whether in any way did this affect the conduct of the elections, their performance. Okay. Because what I'm seeing in Appendix B is the 302,000 were diverted for operations in other places. Again, so if I call there is evidence that diversion have affected operations in the primarily intended areas, that would have. But again, before we go into the auditors, I say you did provide this list. Not so. So what you should have immediately done to answer the audit query was to tell the auditors the substitute which was used, because if you look at the first one, it's the chairman's utility vehicle. Is the chairman authorized to have a fuel of 10,000 for his utility vehicle? Yes. Where is that fuel now? Was sent to Masakon. See if that proof to the auditors. Then that will become a swap. Okay? Election House pool, IEC 16, 10,000. Because the 302, the main reason the auditors flag it is with regards to performance. They are saying it was supposed to go to Masakon so that they can do their duties. It didn't go there. Now you are saying there was a swap. Which means all the listed vehicles here, in one way or the other, are captured in IEC policy, and they were supposed to receive these equivalent values in fuel. Was that equivalent value sent to these places? This is what the auditors needed. Was it not? Yes, this is what you should have provided to the auditors. But it is not only sufficient to give them this list. This list, the only thing it will suit the auditors is the way it is expended. And if I don't show them the way it is expended, then they are right to say that it was not used for the intended purpose. I don't know whether you understand.
No, we take full note. I
Yes.
fully agree with you, Honorable.
So
we need to be able to this point. We agree. I have already stated clearly that we take note and we will draw lessons from this.
yes, now the
Yes,
question
very
is,
forward.
the main reason I'm laboring on it is, the auditors are saying it is not still clear. So at the level of this committee, we want to clear it. The swapping we are talking about, can the finance team provide that to the committee?
Yes, sir. We'll do that. Please, to request.
Yes,
There's no problem.
yes, so that we can clear it once and for all.
We are very transparent.
Yes, we've seen why you spent it,
Yeah.
and that's in the operations of IEC. Now the substitute that was sent to these places to ensure that their performance was effectively conducted, we need that.
No, we will do that. That speaks to the issue of adaptability and flexibility that I made mention of in our operations. Thank you very much.
Can they tell us when was this foreign support received? Date when it was received?
Yes, CEO, yes, first let me just say a point of correction. Some months ago it was swap for Janjamburi and Kerewa. Because Janjamburi there is no filling station, Kerewa we do not have JPC. The AU fuel coupon was in JPC fuel coupon. So the word Mansopong was not affected. It was Janjamburi and Kerewa. That's one. The date this was fuel meant for the presidential election, we will provide you the date, and we will provide you the receipt for all this expenditure on the other operational fuel. So that one you can provide.
No, so, I mean, when was it? When did you receive this support?
Yes, I can't remember here off.
Because we are seeing different dates here.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I cannot remember off head here, but we can get you the date.
Thank you. Is it correct that the invoices dated 21st/10/2021 was received by the IEC? Could that be actual date?
I know this one was made for the presidential election.
Yeah, okay. But then 26/05/2022, Chairman Utility People, Chairman received a sum of 10,000.
Yes.
And this was not during the presidential election period.
Yes, this is what we are saying. This was meant for the presidential election. For Janjambore and Kerewa, we couldn't use those fuel. We used the official, we did a substitute or swapping. So this is why fuel meant for chairman on all official funds. We are not bought, but we are giving to Janjambore and Kerewa, and subsequently we are using the fuel coupons for the, from the AU of GMPC to supply all the official functions.
So, it means that
I think the question that is yet to be answered, maybe you say you'll provide that information later.
Yes.
That's the date for the receipt of the fuel support. Sorry, the CEO, yes.
Can I elaborate more?
No, on that.
What he's saying?
The date for the receipt of the fuel support.
Yes, he said the rate and date there, which is 2022. The reason being that...
No, I'm saying that question asked by the honorable member, he said he cannot provide that.
Yes.
So can you provide that data?
Yes. I'm coming to explain what why he's asking that. The fuel coupon meant for Kenyamburi and Kerawan. There was no GNPC fuel stations there. So those fuel coupons were withdrawn, and fuel that was supposed to be given to utility chairman and other services were sent there. So those fuel coupons were not used once, they were kept. Like if you are supposed to fuel chairman's vehicle, we took those fuel coupons to give it to chairman, so this is why the dates ran into 2022. Yes.
But in addition to that, we will accede to your request.
This date is very important. Yes. I can see where he's trying to connect the dots.
Yes, this is what I'm saying.
The fuel coupon of the chairman for the utility vehicle is dated 26 May 2022.
Yes.
Whereas if we still yet to confirm the date for the receipt of the fuel coupon, but the date we have here is 21st October 2021 was received by IEC from African Union, and the purpose of this fund, a fuel coupon, were for 2021 presidential elections.
Yes.
That was after the fuel coupon. This was before the presidential elections. And then the fuel coupon from the office, from the chairman's office for the utility was dated in 2022. That means after the presidential election. So how that swapping was done?
This is what I was explaining. Like for example, it was bulk. Like for example, it was supposed to send 20,000 to Kerawan. That 20,000 fuel coupon was retained, and they were giving another source of fuel to get there. So that 20,000 that was retained was not given to chairman at one go because his fuel supply is per month or per week. So it's given to him gradually. This is why it ran into 2022. I don't know whether you see my point.
Yeah,
it was not all given to chairman at one go.
This one is from since 2021.
Yes.
Up to 2022 May.
Yes.
The fuel coupon dated.
Yes, because that amount.
The chairman could not use his fuel coupon from 2021 up to 2022.
It was given to him gradually, like weekly. So this one was not given to him at once. It was gradual.
So,
until it was exhausted.
You've never exhausted your supply.
Yes, Honorable Chair.
National Assembly will struggle sometimes. We finished even before the end of the month. So if IC can have their reserve up to almost a year.
Yes. I want to ask a question. How do you receive your fuel coupons? How do you receive them? Do you receive them 6 months in advance, 3 months in advance, 2 months in advance?
For your information, our fuel supply, apart from the utility vehicle and that of the chairman's pool vehicle or utility vehicle, all other fuel supply to officials of the IEC who are entitled to fuel supply receive their monthly fuel in a monetized manner. It's only the chairman's utility and the pool vehicle that receive monthly fuel supply. Yes. Nevertheless, all the official functions that deserve to be supplied fuel are given fuel coupons. If you look at the list, on a monthly basis, the pool vehicle, the chairman's utility vehicle, and other services related to elections and election administration, that is, they were supplied fuel. But for the other official officers of the IEC that are assigned vehicles and fuel, they receive their fuel in a monetized way on a monthly basis.
Yes, still, that will beg the question. How do you receive it?
No,
because both of them, are intended for one purpose. That is when you go to the filling station, you have your fuel.
Yes.
Whether it is the money or the coupon, you can substitute both.
Yes.
So how do you receive it? Is it on monthly basis?
Monthly basis.
On monthly basis.
Yes.
Not so.
Yes.
So this particular 302,400 was meant for the presidential election,
Yes.
which was in December.
Yes.
Not so. December of what? 2021.
Yes.
So now the question is, how do you substitute that with an activity which is supposed to happen in May of 2022? How do you do it?
No, the issue is we received this fuel. Understand? And we were supposed to send these coupons to Janjambore and Kerewan. We realized Janjambore, there is no GMPC. Kerewan, there is no GMPC. And for your information, the closest filling station of GMPC in North Bank is either in Bara or at Farafeni. And it will be a big waste to send vehicles all the way to Farafeni to fuel so that they can come to Jokan. No,
I understand where you're coming.
Let me come, please.
Allow me.
Okay, I'm at your service.
The execution is what we are asking for. We understand all of that.
Okay, let me go to the execution.
So now the question is,
yes,
how was it done?
it was.
You see, you said your fuel allocations are on monthly basis.
Yes.
Altogether, this activity was intended for the presidential election.
Yes.
Which was done around the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd, I can't, December 2021.
4th December.
Okay? So now you are swapping it for future activities, some of which went up to May of 2022.
Exactly.
So now, how did you do this swap?
Yes, we did it in the form of that. Our fuel allocation, the fuel allocation approved by you for the IEC, we use that. And give it to Kerewan and Janjamburi and their coupons, we use it on other official matters.
So
that is the swapping we mean.
Yes. So, can you give the accountant who was doing the execution?
Yes.
Sorry, Director of Finance. Can you tell us how you executed that swap? Yes.
Swapping was done so what as he explained. These two regions don't have GNPC, the Janjambori and Kerawan. So instead of giving, the coupons were now used in the office because they don't have expiry date. So this, let's say in December, we're supposed to give a 40,000. Those 40,000 we used in IEC for that month. So that's why it went up to May. It's not as if we use it at one go, the whole 300,000.
How did you ensure that Janjambore and Mansa Konko had, and Kerawan rather, sorry, I've withdrawn Mansa Konko, I wouldn't say it again. Janjambore and Kerawan had their fuel allocation.
Before you withdraw Mansa Konko,
yes,
the audit has to confirm the withdrawal.
Chair, do I, okay.
Yeah, I just want to respond to an earlier question raised by Honorable Fofana. How did this affect the election?
Okay.
The presidential election. Indeed, it affected the presidential election because there were extra supplementary budgets for some of the regions because of not having fuel. There were supplementary budgets for that.
And that's the main reason. No, let's just go to the Director of Finance. That's the main reason I am asking the Director of Finance now how he did the execution. Because they did swapping for future expenses running up to 2022, which means that cash was not available. And fuel allocation was on monthly basis. You do not have that cash with you right now. So now, how did you execute it? No, ignore his response. That was to me. That was to me. Now you can answer the question. How did you execute it?
Like we explained, we Janjambori and Kerawan, we have to execute. So this amount, 302,000. Instead of the coupons being wasted, they have been sent to the head office and used on a monthly usage. Like for the chairman, the pool people, we also have transporting the generators and various others in the appendix. So the fuel has an expiry date, maybe 6 months or 1 year. So it was not used on the one go. as 300,000. It was expended as time was going on. That's why this was provided.
So, Kerawan and Janjamburi, sorry, still to the director. Kerawan and Janjamburi, did you make cash transfers to them?
Yes, that's why you say we swapped. Sorry.
Yes.
I think that's, you know, understand. When we say we swapped, we gave them cash and then we used the.
Yeah, that's the response I was asking.
Yeah, that's what we did.
That's the exact response. You send them cash and then you retain.
The coupons.
You retain the coupons.
Yes.
Hmm? Yes. Can you verify that?
And full clarification on Kerawan and Mansakongo and Janjamburi.
Yes. For us, as far as our records are concerned, it's Kerawan and Mansakongo.
And then, if they are trying to say that instead of Mansakongo,
Yeah, probably following the finding, it was corrected. But as far as our write-up is concerned, we
despite that,
with reference to Kerawan and Mansakongo.
okay.
That was not disputed in the as per the management response.
Did you verify how much was sent to each of these two locations? How much was sent to Kerawan and how much was sent to Janjamburi?
Fuel or the budget, the entire budget, because the budget will include fuel. Include fuel. So
No, you know where after the 307,200,
exactly.
that is the grant. They are saying they swap, which means they are retaining the fuel coupons, but an equal value must be sent.
This was swapping your scheme.
Yeah, that's
We are not told during the audit.
that in itself, in fact.
Okay. See, I just want to make a request. I just want to make a request.
Okay.
Even though the swapping is coming now, but since that is what they said before the committee, we want evidence of that. Evidence of those cash transfers to Kerawan and Janjamburi.
We will provide.
Okay? We will provide. Yes, please.
Yes.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
In Appendix B, I've seen two different chairman utility vehicles, because chairman utility IEC 33, of course, is a vehicle, and then there's also chairman utility vehicle. I just want them to give clarity on which of the utility vehicles, because on the 27th of January 2022, chairman utility vehicle 10,000 was issued, and 30th December 2021, which is still chairman utility vehicle as indicated, chairman utility IEC 33 is also 10,000. And 21st December again 2021, chairman utility vehicle. So I just want them to put that clarity on whether the chairman has two utility vehicles.
No, only one utility vehicle. The chairman has only one utility vehicle. And before you supply the carbon for the consumer, like when you're speaking for the 1st of December, it was supplied for this one. That's the chairman's utility vehicle. And for the month of December. And for the 30th December, it was supplied for the month of January 2022. And on the 27th January, it was supplied for the month of February. So you can see. So it's supplied on a monthly basis.
So it's the same vehicle that
Same vehicle.
So why would you now put the chairman IEC 33 instead of using the chairman utility vehicle as you said?
Yes, maybe we will do that because the chairman has only one utility vehicle and the registered number is ISE 33.
So what brought the difference that chairman utility vehicle and IEC 33?
No.
We have an IEC utility vehicle, which is different from the chairman's utility vehicle.
But the chairman's name is still indicated in this case.
Huh?
I said the chairman's name is still indicated in this case.
Yeah, but
chairman
I just wanted to clarify there is an IEC vehicle, because we don't have vehicles. Even as vice chairman, I don't have a vehicle anyway. So I take taxi and at times I take my car to work, just to underscore the issues that we have. We have only one utility car for the chairman and an official car for the chairman, and then we have a car that should have been scrapped a long time ago, which is IEC utility vehicle. And the directors, most of the time, and the other commissioners, they always have breakdown with their vehicles. They don't, that these are vehicles that date back to 2016.
But what I'm asking is, why didn't you just use, let's say IEC 33, instead of putting the chairman's name as Chairman Utility 33 and Chairman Utility Vehicle? Why that difference? That's what I'm asking. Why did you just put the Utility 33 instead of Chairman Utility 33 and then Chairman's Utility Vehicle as well?
No, certainly this is an issue of inconsistency and a mistake perhaps.
This was provided by him.
Okay. Because for us, we know exactly what our vehicles are. So it's not coming from us.
These are all extracts from their books. Whatever we give here is something that we saw from them. We don't invent anything.
I think Mr. CEO, you need to answer the point, because it's an extract from his book, he said. So meaning this was an input by the IEC. So this is what I'm asking, why Chairman Utility Vehicle and why Chairman IEC 33? Why not IEC 33 and then Chairman Utility Vehicle, so that we know the difference, that it is not, these two vehicles doesn't belong to the chairman. Because this is the reason I have this confusion, thinking that the vehicles, both the vehicles belong to the chairman.
Honorable member, the chairman has only one utility vehicle, and the registered number of that utility vehicle is IC 33. And going forward, we will stick to one description, IC 33 or IC chairman utility vehicle, instead of putting utility vehicle, because the general language in our office is COS vehicle or IC 31. You should refer to IC 31 as a COS vehicle, or COS vehicle refers to IC 31. That is what is bringing up this confusion. But definitely there is no two utility vehicle, like the chairman, vice chairman is alluded, that if it's one of us, we can even good vehicles. Talk less of giving an authority, two utility vehicles. So there is no two utility vehicles for the chairman, it's only one. IC 33 and IC utility vehicle for chairman means one and the same.
Yeah. And again, Mr. CEO, about the election pool vehicle as well. You have two election pool vehicles. Election pool vehicle, which fuel was issued on the 27th of January 2022, and the 4th of January 2022, which is the election pool vehicle IEC 16. So can you tell us the difference? It's on page 102.
Yes, it's election pool vehicle or and the registered number is IC 16. And for your information, that vehicle is also was procured in 2006, 20 years old.
So but then they all have numbers as indicated on election vehicle 16. So why did you attach a number to the election vehicle instead of just putting election vehicle?
Yes.
Since the vehicles are all numbered.
It's the same like the chairman's vehicle. We also have one pool vehicle in the election house, which is called election house pool vehicle or IEC 16. Wherever you see election pool vehicle or IEC 16 at the other it refers to the same vehicle.
Well, why would you bring the difference? Why wouldn't you just put clarity on the numbers? Because all vehicles are numbered. Since the vehicle is numbered, IEC 16, I expect the other one, 16, to be attached to that. So but an election vehicle, just election vehicle, and an election vehicle IEC 16, why that difference then? Where you should have just brought the number 16 to the other election vehicle.
Sorry, one at a time.
Yeah, can I take the floor?
Yes. I just raised a question with regards to the election vehicle as well, the election pool vehicle, because the election pool vehicle is on page 102, right in the middle of the appendix B. Election pool vehicle, where fuel was issued on the 27th of January 2022, and election pool vehicle IEC 16, which fuel was issued on the 4th of January 2022. And they are saying is one vehicle. So why would they, if I understood that very well, why would they just bring in the difference of election vehicle, pool vehicle 100 and IEC 16
and then just put election vehicle without any number. If they are the same, why didn't they just bring the number as 16? That's what I asked.
That's how it is written. But it's doing that the clarification. Yes, the number is not indicated, but it applies there the same. Election pool vehicle and IC system.
I may not know that.
This is what I'm saying. Now you are asking, that's what he is clarifying. Yes.
No,
you are right that
if
it's not clarifying.
And the other issue, we are not the authors of this document.
No, I think on the vice chair, this is clear now.
Yeah, it's very clear.
When it is not there, it can raise confusion. So any person will feel that they are different.
Exactly.
But if IC is indicated they are the same,
They're the same.
then we can take it that. Next time, make sure you try to make the same format.
No, thank you very much for consistency, but I will insist that this is not our document also.
Whose document is this, Mr. Chairman?
I don't think we need to make it.
Yeah, we're not going to
Sorry.
It came from them.
Yeah, what is vice chair?
Whose document is this?
The honorable member has every right to seek for any clarification.
No, I'm not questioning the right of the honorable member.
No, what I'm saying, but you went further to say this is not our...
No, what I'm saying,
Whose document is this?
inconsistency stems from the authors of the document. That's what I'm saying, not the IEC.
Honorable Chair, as I mentioned earlier, whatever we got here, we got it from the books of IEC. So this is not something that we invented. And I think for consistency purpose, we should have people numbers included in the fixed asset register, so that it makes accountability very easy. I think the reason why the honorable member is raising questions as to why the difference in numbers is so ensure that there is proper accountability and transparency in the use of the fuel. So really, if you don't have the numbers at time, you have different numbers, you start asking questions as to whether they are referring to one vehicle or not. So this information is from IEC. We audited IEC and we got it from IEC books. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, can we proceed? Yes.
Yes, sorry, Chair. I thought I was wrong, but since I made a request, then I want clarity on certain variables so that we will be able to control the outcome. CEO, in your earlier submission, you were listing the people who normally receive fuel coupon. I would appreciate it if you can go to that. You said the chairperson?
What I said is chairperson's utility vehicle and the full vehicle, the generator standard,
Yes.
and any other officer on official mission.
Mike, I'm not getting it.
And any other officer on official mission that warrants the use of a vehicle is given fuel. But house office fuel is monetized. That's what I said for right from the chairman down to any other officer who is assigned an official vehicle. Thank you.
Okay. That's in order. And these coupons normally are received on monthly basis, right?
Yes, for the generator, for the chairman's utility vehicle, and for the pool vehicle. Yes.
So does it mean to say that after receiving or retaining these coupons,
Yes.
in 2022,
2021.
sorry, no, in 2022,
Okay.
I'm going to 2022, or we can even start in December 2021, up to the time you exhaust the issuance of these coupons, IEC were not taking coupons as they used to.
Not IEC, but those who were supposed to be supplying monthly fuel, like the chairman's vehicle and the utility, the generator, were not being supplied fuel, but instead fuel coupons.
You said the chairman's utility,
Yes. The pool
the
vehicle.
official, the pools, the generator.
No, hello, let me just.
Officials who are on official mission. I get that.
Who are assigned.
Assigned official missions.
Yes.
Okay? Okay? And the generator.
Yes.
These was the need why IEC was preparing official coupons. No, sir.
Yes.
Since you've retained coupons worth 302,000 and in excess, and from the records, we are seeing them being issued up to around May of 2022.
Yes.
Does it mean to say, from December up to May of 2022, in the books of IEC, you will not see any other procurement of coupons?
Not to, I can't say that, but all that I know is this fuel that was procured by the AU, African Union, for the IEC, meant for all the regions. That of Janjambure, Kerawan, were retained and swapped, and other officers who were entitled to be supplied fuel coupons were given GMPC, and they were never supplied fuel coupons purchased by the IEC.
Yes.
Even for your information, let me just continue even the regional offices that will normally supply monthly fuel, we stop their monthly fuel supply and give them coupons.
That's accurate, because I've seen that both in December and January. The main reason I'm asking you this question is, you've defined the people or the officers and activities that are eligible to have fuel coupons. And if you look at the submission that was issued by the auditors, those are the elements or individuals included. And that was the coupon need of IEC. And the main reason I'm asking you is, if at all your coupon need was satisfied, and you swapped the Kerawan and Danyamburi grants for your future coupon needs, what other need would IEC have to procure fuel coupons in 2022?
No. The need will only arise upon the completion of the finish of these coupons that were retained.
Then you've answered my question, which means we should not see the procurement of fuel coupons.
Exactly.
That is exactly what I asked. And again, for verification purposes, these coupons, I never received one coupon, so I wouldn't know. But are there any distinct features on them? Yeah, for records, I never received a coupon from any entity. So I wouldn't know how do you identify one coupon from the other. Are there any distinctive features on these coupons?
I can't remember.
Do they have serial numbers or what?
Of course, they have serial numbers, they have all those things.
All coupons have serial numbers.
Exactly.
The list that you've provided for the swap, what was the serial number of it? Who prepared this list?
It's from the records, from the financial records.
Can I have the word? Can you give the mic to the financial records? And I will tell you the intent of my question.
Yes.
Because now you want to justify that indeed these coupons were the ones swapped. So we want to ensure that they are the coupons and they are the ones swapped for the use. When you receive coupons, do you normally record them? The serial number, do you record them on a register? Sorry, I'm not telling you.
Because you don't buy in one quantity. Let's say we buy it for chairman is doing the annual this thing. So we don't take the serial numbers. All we do, we receive the coupons, the person receiving the person that is giving the coupons signs that he received. So we don't take the serial numbers.
They receive the coupons. So at the end of the day, you do not monitor how the coupons are being issued. You just receive it and then you give it out.
And they sign for it. They sign for it. For the pool people, they give them on a weekly basis. Even though it's 10,000. Monitor the usage.
So when he is signing, what does he sign against? What details do you take from the coupon?
You just put the amount of the coupon. If it's 1,500, the person receiving, the person approving.
So you don't take the serial number?
No.
Yes, and in this case, the serial number was important. Because if I know the coupons you receive from AU, upon receipt of them, if you have recorded their serial numbers, the issuing authority signed, you the receiving officer, you sign, and you issued the same coupons to these individuals, the query would have gone. The query would go. And the serial numbers are there for the purpose. Because now, how would I know that indeed those coupons that you received are the very ones that you've given? How would I know? So, Chair, I submit. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, I see. And voted. And the members is getting to 5 minutes to 2. This judge at this convenience can be break for 30 minutes. Yes. Then you will resume by 2:30.
No problem.
Is that okay?